And every now and then, just as the prophet Elijah found himself running away from the threat of a dangerous, capricious woman, Jezebel, because he had stood for what was right. He was not running because he was wrong. He was running because he had done the right thing. And it's interesting that maybe this journey was not about Elijah trying to become anything. Maybe this journey was about his unbecoming everything that really was not the true Elijah, so that he could be who God meant for him to be in the first place. Have you ever thought about the fact that just maybe that when you're running on your journey, and sometimes the detours that you feel like you're taking on your journey is really not about what you are becoming, but maybe part of that journey is to purge something out of you so that you will unbecome the very thing that is hindering you from who God really truly made you to be. There are some foolish mistakes that we make in our life while we're young and we're growing up, and during our teen years and sometimes during the college years, that are foolish mistakes. It is really not a true reflection of who you are. And sometimes it is about unbecoming. And this is why the Apostle Paul said that when I was a child, I spake as a child, I thought as a child, I understood as a child. And now he says, when I became mature, it's because I put away childish things. And so maybe it's about unbecoming that childish person, that immature person. Maybe it's something that God wants you to unbecome so that you can let come to the forefront of everything that God has destined you to be and to do in this earth. Sometimes it's about unbecoming, and God has to lead you to a dead end, a place where you come to the end of yourself, hiding in a cave, wondering what's wrong with me, how did I get here? And then you hear this rhetorical question of the Spirit of God asking, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Have you stopped to evaluate where you are in your career, where you are as a husband, where you are as a wife, where you are as a son, a daughter, a friend? Have you ever asked yourself, what am I doing here? Am I really in the right circle? Am I surrounding myself with the right kinds of people? Am I filling my minds with the right kind of activity? What on earth are you doing? What are you doing here? I believe that this is a real question of the Spirit of God, that He really wants to ask us, what are you doing here? And when you begin to ask that question, you'll begin to get some answers. This is a real question of real introspection. This is the process of looking within. Because he who looks within actually awakens. There are lights that begin to turn on, and you'll have some of your eureka moments where there is an enlightenment that happens. But you're asking yourself during this time of introspection, what is it that drives me? What drives me? What drives me? What is it that turns me on? What is it that I'm doing? And what is it that gets me up and that keeps me going all day long? What is it that causes me to be creative? What is it that stirs my passion on the inside? What is it that gets me going? It's about taking the time of introspection to ask yourself the question, what disturbs me? What is it that disturbs me in my life when I'm living my life and I am disturbed by something? May I just simply say this to you, that what disturbs you is also generally something that you have the power to change. God will disturb you about something because you have the power to do something about it. Very rarely will God disturb you about something that you have no capacity to influence in any way. If something disturbs you, it is a sign to you that you have an ability to be able to do something about it. Don't just be disturbed and not do anything about it, because God wouldn't waste time disturbing you about something that is totally outside of your sphere of influence. You have the capacity to be able to do something, and He's asking you, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing?